Hey guys, welcome into the Chris and Casey channel. My name is Casey, and as you can see, I don't have a face cam today. But there is a pretty dang sweet flying machine in the background, and that's sort of, giving a little hint of what we're doing today. I figured I wouldn't include the face cam because we're going to be doing some pretty serious building today in my redstone testing world, and I figured you guys might want to see every little tiny thing that's going on. So my plan is today, as you can see from the title, is to build a super smelter. This super smelter is going to be powered by a machine such as this one. This is a flying machine based bamboo farm, and as you can see, the carts take up all of the bamboo. I have one slight inefficiency. I need to expand that track out one more so it can pick up everything that lands on this last block here, because for some reason minecarts can't pick up around that turn, so you have to extend it out one more, so I'll be careful of that. But the plan is to expand this out to the max block limit. It's 20 blocks long, and my little collection system may not be the best, but it works. It's just dropper based. I've got it set to whatever the minecart's holding. As you can see, it does not let it take off until it empties out completely. And it's actually expandable, so you can make this as long as you want. Although you just have to be mindful of the piston push limit. That's the only thing you have to be mindful of. But anyway, so I'm gonna start off with building a bigger one of these. Let me go find a spot and let's just get started. Okay, so here's a good spot for us to start, and what I like to start with is the actual flying machine. So I'm gonna get some obsidian. We need that for our immovable object. We need some slime blocks and observers, obviously. So the bottom needs to be our minecart system, and then that needs to be the dirt, and this is the bamboo. So this right here should be the flying machine. So these things are actually really simple to create. All you need to do is put a sticky piston, I almost said that wrong, an observer there, and then of course you need to put a slime block here. Somehow manage to get yourself a sticky piston. Wait a minute. No, I did that correctly. And then face that away. So as this one moves, it will power this piston here, push this one along, this one will get updated. This sticky piston will pull that one back. And I've seen other people use just a regular piston. I think those might be one way. I've always been able to get this to work, as you can see. Let's just do a little test here. So this is sort of the shape that it's going to take on. And I will go ahead and just put some obsidian back off here so we can test this out. So it will go that way. As you can see, it flew, and then you can make it go the other way. So I want this farm to be 20 blocks long, so I'm just going to keep this one here as sort of a placeholder. Let me check out my coordinates. Okay, that should be 20 blocks long if I did my math correctly. I used the coordinates, but, I can get mixed up. But I think either way, this will be a definite... Oh, you know what? That's not going to work. 1 second. There, I think that should work. Let me just test it out really quickly. Yep, okay, so that traveled the full way. So the next thing to do is to figure out the how much these things can actually take. So a piston can push 12 blocks. So I have to make sure that each side is 12 blocks. 8, 9, 10, 11. And the last block that you want to do is a non-slime block, just because you don't want the sides sticking to anything, and you'll see why in a minute. Okay, so that should be everything. That is that's one big harvester. I did not expect it to be that big, but let's just make sure that this thing functions. I really hope it does. Oh, look at that. Yes, my beautiful creation. coming to life. Yes, look at that thing. That thing is going to harvest more bamboo than anybody's ever going to need ever. So, alright, so I want to make my super smelter this way, so I'm just going to go ahead and line some magma blocks up. And let's go ahead and start designing our collection system. Okay, so there's a little bit of designing that needs to happen here. So obviously this is going to be the border of our our glass box or whatever, and I think I want to give it a couple just of extra rails just to make sure that it can actually clear all of this. So yeah, so something like that, and I actually needed a regular rail for this. So the thing is, actually I did not build this far enough over. One second. There's actually an interesting way of doing that. So if you do a little turn here and then you go all the way down, yeah, so if you just take it, if you do that little turn there, take it all the way down and just come straight back with it and just leave it like that, what the cart will do is it will come down the track here, it will take this left here, go all the way down, take a turn, come all the way back, and this may be common knowledge, but this is not going to stop the cart. What it's going to do is it's going to actually put it back on this rail, and then once it's ready to come back down from our collection system, it will come back, take a turn, and do the whole process over again. Oh, and as I do this, I forgot to mention that I probably won't build one as big as this just yet on my Minecraft server. That's the Paper Hats SMP. If you haven't watched those videos, there would probably be a card, if I remember, up at the top right of your video right now. But yeah, go watch that series. That's the official Chris and Casey server. We call it the Paper Hats SMP. And that's just where me, Chris, and Kelsey mostly have a great time on a Minecraft server that is ours, and we are actually looking for new people to join. So if you're interested, hit us up with a message. Probably on Twitter. Twitter's the best place to message us. I think our DMs are open, so yeah, go message us if you're interested. But like I said, I will be building a version of this on the server, so you'll see that pretty soon. Probably really soon, because this is actually a project that I'm actually really needing, and this is just one of those projects where, you know, you have that spark of a moment and you're just like, I need to build this. I understand it completely. I understand the concept, and it's going to be a breeze. And so far, it really has. I thought I would have a lot more of a challenge building it in creative, but it's just like all the small technical stuff, and I figured you guys would want to see it in a video. So I'll quit talking and making you watch me do this, because I said I wouldn't make you. So I will actually see you in a few minutes. Okay, so that is our track laid out. Let me go take a peek at our circuitry over here, and we'll get started on that. Okay, so first what we need is some hoppers. We don't need any more slime blocks, so those are okay. I'm going to go ahead and aim them towards... Actually, I don't need to aim them towards this, do I? I need to aim them over here. Okay, so that's all the hoppers placed. They're all facing to the left from where I'm standing. I just need to connect all these powered rails on top of these. Okay, so that's completed. I can break all of these concrete blocks. And the next step that we need to do is get a comparator. So these comparators will be running out of the hopper. And the idea is whenever there's an item running through the hopper, the rail will switch off. And you'll see how I do that in just a second. So the next step is just put a block in front of these comparators. And I realize it may be easier for me to show you one and then me just go ahead and complete it, so I'll go ahead and do that. So as the hopper pulls up, items will be in the hopper, the comparator will then power, and in order to get the actual rail off, what you want to do is take a torch, a redstone torch that is, place it on this block, and then place a block over it. So this redstone torch is now powering this block. From there, you want to take a repeater, point it towards the hoppers so it is powering whatever is in front of it, and then you see that this torch is powering this block, which is powering the repeater. The repeater is powering this block and passing it onto the rail. So let me give you a demonstration here. So this minecart hopper here is going to be carrying 64 blocks of redstone. Now let's just pretend for a second that it was collecting redstone blocks. It's going to come off this hopper for the first time. It's going to go around and collect all those redstone blocks. It's going to come back. And as you can see, as soon as it hits the hopper, this comparator powers up. It powers this torch, which in turn turns it off. It is no longer powering this block, no longer powering the repeater. Therefore, this block cannot power this rail. And you see that we're almost to 64, and you'll see what happens as soon as it does. Empty the minecart out completely. There's no more item. Actually, you know what? I didn't think about that. I didn't think this through. Holy crap. Okay, so as soon as this hopper... we'll have a collection system over here, so that we're not going to have this problem again. But as soon as this hopper unloads it into the theoretical dropper, that's going to be right here in just a second, you'll see that the rail will power up again, and the minecart will go for another run. Okay, now, for example, let's say that the thing doesn't pick up anything that run. It's just going to go right back out. So, yeah, so that circuit is running flawlessly. Let me take care of the minecart, and I will complete all these circuits. And we just got 64 redstone blocks. I will complete all these, and I will see you in just a second. Okay, so our collection system as far as the minecarts is complete. So now we're going to install the droppers. So I figured out through thorough testing that it's actually easiest if you I'm placing it the wrong way. If you place it beside this full block here for reasons. It uses one more hopper, but in the long run, that's going to save you a lot of redstone wiring. So what I'm doing is I've got this hopper connected to the left, which is connected to this one. This one is connected to this one, which goes into the dropper. So, I mean, that's probably self-explanatory. But I thought I'd go ahead and mention that. Let me go ahead and complete these, and I'll see you once again in a second. Okay, so all the hoppers are in place now. That is absolutely our collection, like as far as item management goes. Now we just need to power these droppers. Just on I found it easiest if it was on a redstone clock. Just constantly putting out items. Of course, this clock is directly going to be connected to whether or not the super smelter is full or not. So as soon as it does get full, the clock is going to switch off too. So there's not a whole lot of chance for lag. Now, what I'm doing to actually power these droppers is I'm just running a repeater into the block below it, and you'll see how I make this clock in just a second. Okay, so that's all the droppers placed down, and I just want to make sure that when I give this thing a signal, all the droppers do activate. I definitely heard 2 dispensers. There's just a little bit of a delay right there, but it's not bad. I mean, this thing's going to be a clock. It's just going to be spitting out items the whole time, so it's not a huge deal. But this clock is really, really, really simple. All it uses is 2 hoppers, and I actually have hoppers in my hotbar. What you do is you put 2 hoppers into one another and just put an item, and then what you're going to do then is I can't actually, let me get this comparator here. You're going to just run a signal, and as you, that doesn't work. Oh yeah, that's right, you need a repeater. So yeah, a comparator into a repeater, so it gives it a full 15 15 signal, redstone signal, and that will absolutely activate your droppers, and that is fast enough for this farm. This is how you deactivate the thing. Now this lever is, for example, the line we're going to put in. When the super smelter is done, it will send a signal from a comparator and just power this hopper. And as soon as I power this hopper, it will keep the item in one of these, because when you power a hopper, it cannot accept items and it cannot put them out, so it's just sort of stagnant for a while. So as soon as you stop that hopper clock, either the droppers will stay powered or they won't be powered anymore, and either way the machine is shut off. And we can also coordinate this to the way we're going to make this thing go back and forth automatically. So now that we've got this system in place, this is probably definitely the most complicated part of the farm. The super smelter is going to be such a different story. We need to put dirt above all this track here. Okay, there's all the dirt down, and here comes the actually, no, I'm going to save the bamboo for a while. Well, no, you know what? I've already got the flying machine. That was the problem I had last time I built the bamboo. Alright, so I've got all the bamboo planted, and I'm serious, I have not waited at all. From the time I started over here planting to the time I got over here, we have grown this much freaking bamboo. I mean, this stuff is just absolutely insane at the amount of bamboo it produces. I mean, this is unbelievable. So the next step is just building the cage around it. So the thing I wanted to mention about this is you have to sort of be mindful, because the mine carts, they will sort of get stuck up if you put blocks right here sometimes. You know, right next to the track. So what I like to do is just give it, you know, one block of freedom. And I mean, it's literally just one block. Like, you can, on this layer, you can literally just put them like that. So it's not too bad, and it sort of makes a cool design in my opinion. But I'm gonna go ahead and just make a border around this thing. Okay, so in order for me to know where not to place glass blocks, I'm actually going to have to send it down. So this is going to look really cool. I figured I would go ahead and just show you. So yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. That is mowing the grass. That looks really cool. Looks really cool. Oh yeah. Okay, so actually we're not going to need this bamboo. That's okay. I'm just going to replace it with probably glass, more glass. Alright, that took way longer than expected, but I've got all the glass covered up, and I'm only gonna, you know, keep it 4 blocks high, because when you have this machine running, nothing's gonna grow past 4 blocks, so there's really not much to worry about there, and I'm sort of, you know, saving resources for survival. So the next step is to get this water stream going, and I think I figured out a great way to do that. So the plan is, I'm going to have a water stream here with a glass border like that, so the items can't go out. But that is going to be just, you know, just your average water stream with ice, to make it go a little bit faster. I'm just going to destroy these blocks so it's easier for me to get to. Okay, so if you're not really completely sure how to make a water stream, you make a line and you place some water and it will run for 8 blocks, and you put a pressure plate or something like that, and it keeps them moving along. Okay, so that module is complete. The only thing that we're missing is a way to keep this flying machine running. And there's actually an easy way to do that. So how you do that is you need an observer and you need a sticky piston. So what you want is you want an observer looking at the observer. So when that comes into port, or whatever you want to call it, it sends a signal out this observer. The observer detects a block update and it will send a signal. And then you want a repeater facing out that way. And then you just want, well, I wish I had concrete. And you want, I like to set it to 3 ticks just to give it, you know, a good update. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put a sticky, I'm sorry, a sticky piston there, and of course you need a bit of redstone dust and just a piece of concrete or whatever block you have. So when that gets detected, it's going to send this block in front of this flying machine observer here, and it's going to send an update and power that piston. It's going to start the process back here. So let me mirror this circuitry on the other side and we will see how it works. Okay, so I've got that circuitry already set up on the other side, and I think we're ready to go. I think we're absolutely ready to go. We're gonna lose a little bit of bamboo. I mean, my goodness, look how much has grown. This stuff is just crazy. Absolutely crazy. I think I've got the circuitry all worked out, and this should work. I'm kind of nervous still. Oh, wow, I just fell down. I'm still kind of nervous, but I think this thing is going to look great, and I think it's... Oh, you know what? Holy crap, I should have put the mine carts down. Okay, we have mine carts going. We've got all sorts of whatever going. So what I'm going to do is just send this thing an update, and we will make a kill switch too. We'll make that kill switch in just a second. But I'm just going to send a block update, and let's cross our fingers and hope this thing works. There it goes. Its first full run as a functioning thing. Oh crap, I should have turned off. There we go. We've got our dropping circuit completed. I see him getting picked up by mine carts. I see it. It's happening. Oh, they're filling. Yes, yes. Oh, look at him. Look at all that bamboo, that sweet bamboo coming down. Uh-oh, what's happened? Okay, so I think that might have been a timing issue. And to make this thing look a little bit better, I figured I'd put a glass block in there. So that one's actually seamless. Yeah, so that was a timing issue. You do need 4 ticks and not 3. Take note of that. Take note of that. 4 ticks and not 3. You need to have your repeater set to 4 ticks. Okay, so now it's running flawlessly. We've lost a little bamboo on that first run, like I said we would. That's no big deal. You'll be producing so much. Look at all that bamboo we've already produced. We are still spitting out bamboo. How much is in? Oh, we have quite a bit. Look at that beauty. Okay, so the next step that we need to do is connect these two things together, and that is really beyond simple. What I'm going to do is stick a repeater there, have some redstone dust. I mean, this is exceedingly simple. Okay, so all I've done is just run a redstone line into this block, which will keep this powered, which will keep this piston extended. The block is extended like I hoped, and I know this is going to work, but let's just go ahead and witness it. Boom, there you go, look at that. Okay, so we successfully have a kill switch. We're gonna go ahead and start work on the actual super smelter. Okay, so this is a mini version of what I want to do, and basically what it is, it's a chest which has 2 hoppers because I want 2 lines of furnaces. Basically, it sort of works the same as those mine carts over there. It has a detector rail right here, a powered rail, and we have a chest with a set amount of items to give a specific amount of signal. That's sort of what I'm wanting to go for, and I think it's absolutely doable. And of course, it's going to look a lot better than this. But let's get started, shall we? Okay, so I was thinking something along the lines of this, just having 8 furnaces on each side, and just having it feed into a central chest in the floor or something like that. So I think the best way to do that is just get a bunch of hoppers and just having it feed down the line. Okay, so now that we have the output line put together, what we need to do is go ahead and just affix some hoppers to the top and the backs of this thing. Okay, so if you're not familiar about the way that hoppers interact with furnaces, if you put one into the top, that is going to be your ingredient or the thing that you want to smelt. The one on the side is your fuel, so your coal, your bamboo in this case, dried kelp, whatever have you. That's going to go into the fuel, and down here this is your output. So whatever you do smelt, whatever the item turns into, it's going to come out here at the bottom. I've just went over and looked at my design over there, and this is actually going to work, I believe. Okay, so this is the actual rail that the minecart's actually gonna start on. Okay, so what you need now is a sticky piston with an end rod, and I know end rods are kind of expensive early on in game, but we are not in any sort of end game at the moment, so, or any sort of beginning of the game. Right now we are absolutely rich. We have everything that we ever need at our fingertips. And you know what? I actually built this one block too far. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, so from there we need a redstone torch to power that. From there we need a comparator just running right there with a bit of redstone dust into that. So as soon as that detector rail gets powered and the minecart has items in it, it will output that and put the torch out. And the way we're going to judge whether or not we need to let an item through, I'm going to go ahead and put another comparator into the side of that. And we're going to replace a chest down and put 32 items in it. This is going to give us a signal strength of, I believe it's 1 or 2, but it's enough to keep it to where it's got to take us, it's got to get to a considerable amount for it to actually power off this redstone torch. It might be a good idea now to actually build our legitimate redstone line. It's going to go evenly from this chest. Both sides are going to load evenly. It's going to go over here and down into the dropper, or the minecart with the hopper. And same thing over here, that's going to happen. I just need to mirror this circuitry right over here. Okay, and there is our, here's our ingredient loading system, all fully done. The point of this is minecarts travel so fast that it's only going to input one item at a time. So because of doing that, you're going to basically smelt 8, or in this case 16 items in the same time that you would smelt a single item just using one furnace. So you are having a 16 times faster smelter by doing this design than you would just using a single furnace, which, you know, gives you great benefits. If you're trying to build something out of glass or terracotta and you smelt the terracotta, or you do glazed terracotta, something that requires smelting, this is a good thing to have. And you can actually make these things as big as you really want them. So that's really cool. Okay, so the only thing left to really do is get this water line connected up to this hopper. This hopper is connected to this hopper, which goes all the way down to the line. And I'm doing this with hoppers because I kind of want like a magazine or a reservoir with extra fuel. These hoppers are the only one, these 8 hoppers are the only ones actually connected to the furnace. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hoppers at the ready filled up with bamboo. So it just keeps these furnaces running, and we have even more on this side. So this side we'll be able to go longer. And whoa, I should have been harvesting that. That is ridiculous, but we would have wasted a lot. Okay, guys, so what this is just a simple item elevator. Oh, whoa, what happened there? Oh, so I guess breaking glass, like it doesn't, survival doesn't work in creative, so we're actually gonna have to do water buckets. But yeah, that's just a really simple item elevator. In order to shut this thing off, actually, what I'm going to do is, well, I just got rid of my concrete. I'm going to have a comparator output coming out of this one. So as soon as this thing is absolutely completely full, would you get out of here, wandering trader? My gosh, I'm trying to do things. Holy crap, go. Alright. You're over here messing up my redstone, and you don't even have good trades. You're always on my server, and you annoy the crap out of me. My goodness. Anyways, I'm gonna have a redstone. Alright, sorry, this guy's completely making me sound like an idiot. I have a comparator output coming out of here, and I'm actually going to put this here. And you know what? I don't think I'll mess anything up, but I just want to make sure. Oh, that's not good. Okay. I just got to put an extra piece of concrete there to keep them from, you know, thinking that they're going to do something. And I actually need to put that there. So I'm going to have a repeater here coming out of this comparator. And the reason for the redstone torch is that is a 15 power signal, which is going in this comparator. So unless this thing is absolutely to the brim full, it is not going to cut on. It is absolutely not going to turn on and power this repeater, which is going to go down here. So we can get rid of this lever finally and actually have this thing start running. And let's just see what happens. Oh wow, we had something weird going on with this. That that minecart is just is not it's not doing what it's supposed to. There we go. Oh crap, I just messed you up. I did not foresee that coming. I do have a little design flaw there. When that comparator is powered up, it does power that dispenser. There's not much I can get around with that without making it way more bulky. I don't think that's a huge deal though, to be honest. So, yeah, so once this thing starts getting full, like this is about to turn on, that will actually, yeah, once this thing starts actually like harvesting a bunch and the stuff, you know, doesn't start knocking down as much for the minecarts to start collecting, these droppers will go faster. And over time, as this machine fills up, as we should be seeing, oh my goodness, is this thing working? So I was actually accidentally powering this hopper here. Oh, and that's not even working either. Oh my gosh, I'm having problems all around. I actually don't want that to happen. So let me see how I'm gonna get around this here. And that's actually gonna cut that on when there's items in there. Yeah, let me see how I'm gonna get around this. Oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot. Like, I didn't even think about that. Let's go ahead and shut this thing off. Yeah, there's something horribly wrong with my hopper array here. So the problem is I actually need these furnaces one block down so I can have these just going straight across and having another set go into them. So, well, you'll see what I mean in just a second. I'm kind of disappointed at the moment. Okay, so this looks a little bit counterintuitive. I just didn't want to have to move all that circuitry down one. But it does work. What I've got going here is hoppers always go down before they go over. And even though it's pointing to the right, it can still go down. So these things will load up this. No, actually, it'll go over here, go down, and then fill into that furnace. As soon as that one's full, the hopper will fill up. This one will go over to the next one. That one will fill up, and so on. And I've got these extra set of hoppers here. When I build it in survival, I just don't need this top set of hoppers and just put the circuitry one block lower, or just don't be an idiot and account for the height for that extra set of hoppers that I need in the back. And to just do the collection system here, what I'm going to do is do probably just a line of hoppers as well. Okay guys, this should be working now. Let's make sure that this furnace is filling up. Oh my goodness, I think we have another problem. Okay, so we actually don't have a problem at all. It's just going to take an insane amount of time to fill all this up. So what I'm going to do is just take some of this bamboo and fill it up myself to simulate that everything is working correctly. And of course, before I build in survival, I'll do more troubleshooting. But let me go ahead and fill up all these hoppers until about a certain point. I actually just found another flaw in my design. I actually have this hopper flowing into the wrong hopper. I should be having it going over. So I'm going to try to do this without water damage. Okay, that was super stressful, but I think it worked. Yeah, it should have. So we should be seeing Yeah, we are seeing a line of bamboo coming through. Look at that. I never Okay, yeah, it is working at full speed. Just look how much bamboo this thing is producing. I mean, it is a non-stop machine. I mean, this thing, and it should cut off automatically at any moment in time. I've filled these things up to the brim. It should be happening any moment. It is right here. It's only got 2 hoppers left. Actually, I'm gonna help it along. All right, guys, we are on the last hopper, and we're in the home stretch. Oh, that one is getting seriously stuck. That is the problem. There we go. I fixed the problem. The problem is like a huge group right there was getting stuck in that pressure plate. That's why I was running so slow. Oh, and I missed it. Dang it. But yeah, so as soon as the super smelter got completely filled, the machine cut off, the dropper clock cut off, the rails, unfortunately, I don't have the capacity to wire it like that, I don't believe. You know what? I sadly do not have a way to unpower these things. Just because of how much I've got this thing so crowded. And there's a comparator and everything going into it. The only way to power or unpower these is to... Yeah, the only way to unpower it would be powering it through that block, and I don't see a way to do that. But the mine carts aren't too bad. All you'd have to do is... I will think of a fix, but that's not too bad. But we have this design worked out a little bit. The bamboo farm absolutely works. The flying machine works. The harvester works. The water stream into the fuel system absolutely, beyond the doubt, works. And yeah, so the only other thing left to do is actually test it out. How fast does this thing smelt? Like, seriously, that's the big question, isn't it? But what I'm gonna do is just let's see, what do we want to smelt? Let's say glass. Let's smelt some glass. Yeah, I'll just put some sand in here. I'm gonna do 9 stacks of sand, and we'll just see what happens. You see, it's emptying double fast. This side is not working. Okay, so now we got this thing at full speed. Let's since that test didn't go so well, let's just clear out all the items. Okay, take number 2. We're gonna do 9 stacks of sand. It's emptying out double fast. We've already got some action. Oh yeah, look at that. I mean, I must say it's pouring out of there. In waves, obviously, but look at it. Yeah, look at it go, man. I do see one opportunity here. I need to place another furnace out here, and just have that a regular track. I can do that. Wow, okay, so that's already unloaded 9 stacks upon all of these furnaces. It's not so even, but as you can see, we've already smelted 3 stacks, which is a lot faster. I fixed that little glitch over here. What the problem is this detector actually powers this hopper, so you don't actually get an item in the first furnace. So that's not a huge deal. All you got to do is just move everything down one, and put you not a hopper there. Just don't even worry about that one. So it's going to be just a little bit longer than expected. But we are getting there. Look, it comes in waves. It comes in waves. Look, let me go ahead and show you where this thing is going to actually be fitting. And of course, this thing is not going to fit anywhere you put it. I have sort of like an industrial district on my server, and that's actually going to go over there. And it's going to be one huge water stream over to the super smelter. So, but I think this design will work for what I need it to do. Absolutely. I mean, it's already smelted 5 stacks almost. I mean, that is awesome. Look how fast it goes. I get 16 items or 8 items or whatever. Theoretically, it should be 16 items in the time that it takes to smelt 1 item. So, and I think that's correct. I mean, we are blazing through that sand right now. But yeah, let me pop on over to the server and show you where this thing's gonna go. Okay, so this is my base on the Paper Hat server. I got my auto sorting machine. I got my nice tower, my bubble elevator. I mean, this is all space age stuff now. I tell you what, don't you underestimate me. Anyway, so this is the room here. Yeah, it's not huge. I think that super smelter would definitely fit in here if I just gotta work towards it and really fit it in there. I'm gonna do barrels in the ground. Or no, I'm sorry, I'm gonna do hoppers down into the ground, leading into that one chest, wherever it's gonna be right here. Yeah, so I mean, this thing's gonna be awesome, guys. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be one heck of a huge project, and I'm gonna need a lot of iron. I'm gonna need so much iron to get all these hoppers, and we don't actually have an iron farm, so it's sort of a problem, but definitely possible. So guys, I really appreciate you for watching me today. Oh, look at that bamboo roll out of there. I just love that. And you know what? We didn't mention it, but this machine turned on by itself to refill itself. I mean, this is a smart machine, guys. You have to appreciate that. And I've actually worked out our little engineering technical difficulty over here, so that is absolutely fixed. And it is a working super smelter. It may be a mini one, but it's a great one. So guys, again, I really appreciate you for watching. I'm just gonna leave it on this screen. You can see them roll in. Really appreciate you for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Hit subscribe if you like my design. Feel free to use it. Tell me, I know there's a million other ways to do this better. But as you can see, we've already smelted over half a stack by the time we've been talking about this outro. Guys, hit subscribe, hit like, give me some props down in the comments. Guys, you have a great night, and I will see you next time.